So now how do I verify whether Git is installed or not? This is a fresh new mission. So not yesterday's mission. Okay, yesterday's mission I have destroyed, right? Terminated, and this is my fresh mission. So to check whether Git is installed or not, this is the command git space ---- version. Okay. So now we will see. How to configure username and user email. Git config global user dot name and name of the user, right? And how do I configure user email? Anyways, I want responses. Otherwise, I'll be get bored. Okay. I don't know whether you guys are following me or not. Just to please give me the confidence. Okay. Whatever I'm teaching, it is reaching out to you. Or you remember, right? Okay. So this is how I can configure. Now we are ready with the setup. So what are the things that we can do with the Git? We need to record each and every change, right? And for that purpose, we need to have a Git repository, right? So Git repository is a common source code repository where all the team members, they contribute their code or integrate their code at one place, so that you need to have one repository. So there are two ways in creating a repository. So for example, you are a project manager. So the project is started from scratch just right now. Then you can create a project or Git repository on the fly from scratch. That is one way. The second way is already the project is in progress and you have a Git repository and some contributions are happening. People are already checking in. Some development is happened, but you are joining that team, right? So when you are joining a team, what you can do? You can clone the repository. You should not again create the repository from scratch, right? So there are two ways. One is when you are starting the project for the first time, you create or you convert you create the repository from scratch. That is one way. And the other way is already it is in middle. Someone has already created and people are already contributing, and that just you have joined the team. In that case, what you can do? You can clone the repository. So first we'll start with the creating the project from scratch, right? So how do I create a project from scratch? You need to first of all, maybe you create a folder of your choice. Right now I don't have any. My Git repo, I'll create a folder. So by the way, if anyone not aware of what mkdir is, so this mkdir is to create a folder, just like how we create a folder in Windows by right clicking and new folder. This is how you can create via console using a command. Okay. Hope everyone knows what is mkdir is. Okay, so I have created a repository folder, and how can I change it to that folder? cd my git repo. Okay, right now I am in this home Ubuntu my git repo. This is my current folder. Okay, present working directory. So I wanted to convert this into a Git repository. Then what is the command? Just note it down, whatever all the commands that I'm teaching. So git init. And what does dot means? What exactly is dot mean? In Linux terminology, what is
current folder? Current folder.
Can I?
Current directory.
Yeah, you are right. It is a current directory. Okay. So git init dot means, so either you can, if you just wanted to mention current directory, you can just give the dot, or else you wanted to give the absolute path, maybe anywhere you are in, but you just wanted to give that absolute path, which you wanted to convert into a Git repository. You can give, for example, your Git repository is in /home/ubuntu and some XYZ repo, right? Then you need to give /home/ubuntu/XYZ repo. But I am in this folder and I wanted to convert this folder or this directory into a Git repository. In that case, I can simply give dot. So dot is nothing but it's a relative path, and the full path what you give, we can call it as a absolute path. So in Linux terminology, we frequently use. You need to be very familiar with what is relative path and what is an absolute path. Absolute path is nothing but a full path from wherever you are in. If you give that path, that is a valid path. But relative path is current relative to the current directory, okay, where you wanted to create, right, where you wanted to navigate. That is a relative path. So here I have given relative path. Instead, this what I can give from anywhere. If I wanted to convert this folder into a repository, I can give something like this. To my Git repo. So dot is equivalent to /home /ubuntu my Git repo, right? So either of these values works here. Okay, I'll give just that, and we'll see what is there before no. So if you wanted to see any hidden files in a specific directory, you could give the command ls is to list the files, and if you pass the arguments -la, it will show you are there any hidden folders or hidden files there in this directory. So we don't have any hidden folders or hidden directories as of now, but after creating this repository or after executing this command, so we'll see what will be there, right? What is that? Using master as the name for the initial branch. This default branch name is subject to change. Your new repositories git configuration global. Init default branch name to change. Names commonly chosen and stuff. Okay. Created branch can be renamed via this command. He's just giving hints. Okay. What all you can do, what are all the things with which it is created. But if you see the last line, which is in white color, initialized empty Git repository in where /home /ubuntu my Git repo, and within that one, it has created a folder called Git. And before that one, you see dot. What does again dot in front of a file or in front of a directory means? What it indicates? So dot in front of a file or in front of a directory in Linux means it is a hidden file or hidden directory, right? If you simply issue this command ls, it won't be visible. You have to see any hidden directories. What you have to give? ls-la. Now you see there is a directory. So this is a directory. If anything, I mean, you can easily understand in the Linux terminology. If your file is there and you don't see the color, that I mean, it will be generally in blue color, and that is not fixed. Again, it varies from system to system. But here, right, if anything is created, this blue color, you can think of it as a directory, or else it is a file. And if that is there in front of it, then it is a hidden directory. You cannot see. Okay, so to change the directory, you can see you have. So this when I issue the command git init dot, it has created a hidden directory named .git. That means, so if any in any folder in any path, right? If there is a folder named .git, that means it is a Git repository. Whatever the commands you issue, Git commands, they will work only when you navigate to that, when you are in that path where your .git folder is present, then only they will work. Otherwise, they will not work. For example, I can give any command, something like, okay, so git status is the frequent command we use. It will tell you what is the status of your current project, right? So you are on branch master, no commits yet, nothing to commit, right? The same command, if I go outside of this folder, if I execute, right? What it is saying, it's not a Git repository. That means you are in a wrong path when you are executing this command, git status. So you have to execute this command in which folder and which path where your .git folder is present. Okay, if you execute anywhere else this git command, it won't work. Okay, so if you have to make sure you are doing anything related to git, right, you have to be in the same path as git or inside the git folder also, right? Otherwise it won't work. Okay. Yeah. Understood? Now I have created a
Yeah.
git repository. Now how I can make sure? By logging into navigating to this folder and see if the .git is present or there. Again, what is there in the .git? You could see head. What is this head? It is a pointer. Okay. So in I mean if anyone of you are aware of data structure, there is nothing to do. I mean, don't think that this is a compulsory topic you need to be aware of. Just I'm giving, if you are aware of it, then you could easily understand. That's what exactly is that head. Otherwise, you need not to worry about it. Okay. Head is a pointer which will always point to the latest commit. Okay. What do you mean by a commit here? Commit is whatever the change that you push or you commit, right? Whatever the change that you made and which is recorded in the Git repository, we call it as a commit. Okay. So that this pointer head is a pointer which will always point to your latest commit. So that's where this Git folder doesn't, I mean, you don't need to navigate to this Git folder anytime, just, but it contains everything, the meta information about your Git repository. That is a header pointer which will point to your latest commit. Branches will contain the information about branches and objects, references, everything is all related, the information related to this Git repository. You have nothing to do with it. In real time, you don't touch this folder, you will not log into this folder, you will not do anything with this folder. But related to this Git, right, that meta information will be maintained in this repository. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm ready with the Git repository. I'll create my first file. Okay. For example, I wanted to commit some file because I don't have anything, nothing else is there in this repository as of now. It's a plain empty repository. No file is committed, no version is available, right? It's a plain repository. But I need to start somewhere, right? For example, I'll create the initial file. So by the way, what is this VI? VI is a editor. Okay. For example, if I have to write any file or if I have to save, write some notes, right? Where do I do in Windows? What are the applications I have in Windows? I can simply open Notepad and type some text and save it, right? Notepad plus plus or Sublime Text or Atom, right? Or even I can open a Word document or PowerPoint, whatever maybe. So they all are tools or applications using which I can open a file and uh, write some content and save it. So here in Linux, right? So in Bash, especially in Bash shell, VI is an editor to edit or write any content and save it. Extension, you can give anything, right? So it doesn't matter. Everything will be considered as a plain text, depending on the uh, uh, tool, right? Maybe depending on the compiler, maybe if it is a Java program, right, then it will look for the Java extension. If it is a Python, it will look for a .py. But from the Linux shell perspective, everything it will be in this plain text format. Okay, either you give .txt or either you give something else. It doesn't matter for it. But yeah, so VI is an editor using which we can open a file, write some content, and save it on the disk. Right. So this is VI readme.txt will open a file for me, and so I need to switch to insert mode. Hello, this is my first Git project. Okay. This is of your choice, right? You can write anything. Okay. State maybe 13, right? Today 13. But yeah, for people who are in India, it is 13. If you are somewhere else, it could be in years, it could be 12. Okay. This is my first Git project. This is a file just I have created. Okay. So where I am, is this saved now? Is this file saved from a disk perspective, right? From a operating system perspective, this file is saved, right? So what is the content in this file? Readme.txt. This is the content which I have written. Even without logging, opening that file, using this cat, I can see what are the contents within that file. Or simply I can open it in a edit mode. Still, I can see the same thing. Okay. Q naught will quit without saving, and WQ will save and quit. That is the, I mean, you need to understanding about the basics of AI editor. Now I have this file. I was telling you yesterday, there are 3 stages. Can anybody remind me what are those 3 stages from the Git perspective? Arvind?
It's on the working directory, staging area, and local Git repository.
Excellent. There are 3 stages: working directory, staging area, and actual Git repository.
Local.
Where you come. Right now, I have created a, where I am right now. I mean, there won't be any specific, this all virtual concepts, you don't really see what is working directly, staging area. There are no such systems which you can feel and touch. This a logical or virtual thing. Okay. So right now I am in working directly because my changes are not yet staged, are not yet committed to the actual repository. So how can I know that one? So the Bible and this is Git status. So Git status will always give you where are you and what is the state of your project. Okay. Now you could see, right? So if something, right, if there is any file which is under untracked, okay, that means that is in working directory. The files which are displayed under untracked files, that means they are saved on hard disk, right? But they are not committed yet to Git repository. That means they are in working directory, right? So if you have a beautiful editor, I mean, it will be easy for you to identify with the color of the text. So if something which is there in red color, that means they are in working directory. Okay. Here you could see readme.txt. This is my initial file. I don't have anything. It is also giving a statement. Nothing added to commit, but you have untracked files present. In order for you to commit, right, the next command you need to give is git add. Okay. Git add will add your files which are there in working directory to where? Next, what is the next stage?
Staging.
Yeah, right. So if in order for these files to move to staging area, again, here you can use the relative path, or you can give the exact. For example, there are 10 files are there. You wanted to stage only 5 files out of those 10, then you can explicitly mention those file names. Or you have 20, 30 files, all of them you wanted to move to the staging area at once. Then what you can give relative path like dot. So dot will move all the untracked files to the staging area. Or else, if you wanted to move only specific files, then you can individually mention each file name. Okay. So git add readme.txt or git add dot. Both are equal at this point of time because I have only one file. Either I can mention dot or I can mention the file. Okay. So now again, everything, when we could see the status by using the git status. Now it has changed from red color to green color. Okay. If something is in green text, or you could see always the comments, right? Changes to be committed, right? And there you have untracked files, and that file is there under untracked state. But here this file is under changes to be committed. Okay. Now we are in staging directly. From staging, where you can move this file actually to the Git repository. Until you commit, the changes we have done so far will not be recorded. Even the first version of this file is not yet available in Git repository. Git repository doesn't know who this readme.txt still yet. Okay. Once you commit, then it will know it will start recording the history of this file or each change from here onwards. If the Git repository has to track, then you have to commit this file. Once you commit, right, all the subsequent changes for that file which is there in the Git repository will be tracked by the Git repository. Until then, these changes will not be tracked. The Git repository doesn't know who is this readme.txt till now. Okay, we need to make sure who is this. So in order to do that one, what I have to do, next command is git commit, and I can use some. Here you no need to mention file names. Whatever there in the staging area, they will be committed. Right? I have packed, right? I have a list of fruits and I have packed them. I have that bag available with me. Simply you throw it, right? Either 10 files, 10 fruits are there, 100 fruits are there, 200 fruits are there. I'm throwing it once, that bag, that pack, right? So that pack will go at once. So in order for that, you no need to mention what is that list of fruits or files within that pack. Simply git commit, and for some comments, right, you can -m is to enter some comment. This is a custom comment, custom message. This is my initial commit or first commit into Git repository. Whatever this is your own words. There is no restriction what you have to give here. Okay, now if you see Git status again, right? I'm on branch master, nothing to commit. My working directory is clean. I don't have anything in staging. I don't have anything in working directory. What are the changes I have made? They are committed to the Git repository. Okay, so we have what commands I have used till now: the git add and git commit. Okay, and in order to see the status anytime, use the git status. Again, if I have to do any changes again to the same file, open and okay, so I'll add some more line. Okay, change to this is my second line. Okay, again git status. Now earlier, what is the difference you observe here? Simply readme.txt, this is an untracked file. Okay, and now if you see here, this is there in untracked file only, but you see modified, this text is modified. That means at least one version of this file is there in the Git repository. Now Git repository knows who this readme.txt. From here onwards, what are the changes you made? It knows, right? What was the content that is there in the Git repository? What is the change that you have just made? So that's how it will track it. To see what is the change that is made, what we can do when you are in working directory, git diff, right? Now you can see, right? So whatever the text that is there in white color, right? This is the old text which is there in the Git repository. And the plus line indicates you have added. If something you have deleted, it will be there in the minus and red color. And here if you have plus and in green color, that means this is the change that you have just added. Okay. Now again, if I have to move, I need to follow the same cycle. Git add to the staging area. Then you see this is modified and you see it in green color. That means it is in a staging directory, and you can commit here with some message. My second commit, right? Like this, you can add any number of files. You can do any number of changes or any number of files. And we wanted to see what is there in the history in Git repository, right? This is nothing there in the working directory, nothing there in the staging area. But I wanted to see what are all the commits that made so far into the Git repository. The command is gitlab. Now you see the beauty here. right? It contains, I told you what? 3 attributes. It will record 3 attributes. What are they? Who modified, when it is modified, and what has been changed, right? Do you remember? And each such commit is identified by a commit ID. This commit ID is nothing but the hash value. Okay. This hash value is nothing but the difference is calculated, and the difference is saved in the form of some hash. Each commit is identified by a new unique value. That unique value is this hash. Okay. So now we can see here only 2 things, right? Who modified, when it is modified. Then what is being modified, how to check? This is how you can see git show and the commit ID. Okay. Yeah. Now it will show you. Okay. So this is the line that has been modified. And in GitLab, where it is pointing the head? It is pointing to the.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Can't we use just a git diff, like a difference of that file?
Here, once it is, when the git diff will work only when you are in working directory. Okay. It will,
Okay.
it will not work on the repository. Nothing is displayed. Okay.
Okay.
You wanted to see the changes on a files which are in staging area. You need to issue git diff -- stage. But in order to view the changes that are committed, and you need to pass the, I mean, you can view only using the git show and that commit ID. Okay. So gitlab
Yeah.
show you the history, and always you can see where is the head. Head is pointing to the master branch and to the latest commit. So the latest commit is the, and when you issue this command, right, gitlab, so it will display in the chronological order sorted out by the latest commit. Okay, so the latest commit will display first, then the second latest, and lastly the first commit which you have committed. Okay, so sorted out by the latest timestamp, and this is the latest commit, and your head pointer will always point out to the latest commit. Again, for example, if I create one more file, okay, maybe hello dot java, right? So public class hello starting file. Okay, this file I have created. Now again, what is the command? Git status. Now you have one more untracked file. Git add, or I'll give the file this time. Okay, now git diff, right? This is not same, right? Why? Because this is, where are we? So nothing is there in the working directory, but there are some changes in the staging area. Now, if you wanted to see the changes in staging area, you need to give git diff -- staged, right? Now you can see this is the new file and this is the new content. If you commit this file, git commit -m created Git status. Nothing is there in the working directory or staging area. Everything is committed to the Git repository. Now, if you see GitLab earlier, so the head pointer is pointing to this commit. Now, this is pointed out to this commit. Again, if you do one more commit, again head pointer will move to the latest commit. Always head pointer will commit to where the latest commit. Okay. So I'll stop here. We will continue the remaining things in Git in tomorrow's class.